everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Power Ring. This is the Crime Syndicate version of John Stewart Green Lantern. Pretty much an evil version of Green Lantern. This guy's a Target exclusive, and he is the fourth and final figure to finish collecting to build Starro the Conqueror. I pre-ordered this guy from the Target app, and lo and behold, this is probably the first time I've actually received a figure from Target.com before finding the stores. I've been giving the DCPI number of the stores locally for quite a while now, and he just simply has not hit my area yet. Looking forward to not only this figure, but more importantly, finishing Starro. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, DC Multiverse Power Ring, collect to build Starro the Conqueror. This is the fourth of 4 figures to complete Starro. Here he is in the package. Looks like no traditional accessories, but he has a collector's card, a display stand, a piece of Starro, and a Starro Parasite. One side of the package, Power Ring from the Crime Syndicate. Other side, Power Ring. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case it helps anybody. And on the back side, here's Starro. Here's a checklist of all the parts. Here's how to put them together. And here is the final thing. Here's the entire Crime Syndicate wave. So no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that we have this figure out of the package, here he is with all his accessories laid out. He doesn't come with any character-specific accessories, no constructs or anything like that, but he does come with a piece of Starro the Conqueror, one of Starro's Parasites, a display stand, and a collector's card. But before we look at those, let's talk about and check out the actual figure. So this is John Stewart, also known as Power Ring, also known as Emerald Knight. This is the evil version of John Stewart, part of the Crime Syndicate from a different multiverse. It's a multiverse where the Justice League is a crime syndicate, and they're essentially villains. So let's take a look. Start with his face here. He's got that domino mask, kind of an odd shape, that bald head. It's looked to be all unique parts on this figure. He's got big shoulder pads, logo here at the middle, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, double ball joints in his torso area. Sculpting is pretty decent. You can see sculpting, the different armor pieces all over his suit. Good looking figure. Kind of strikes me as a little bit basic, but definitely hits the mark just like it should. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Here's a look at John Stewart's Power Ring. As you can see, it's on his left hand. Typically the Green Lantern figures have the ring on the right hand. Painted green, sculpted on top of his fist. I like the little details like that. Now let's look at his accessories, and let's start off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane stand, black perfect circle. It says DC on the bottom. It's got one peg for the peg holes on his feet. Very thin, very basic. Now let's look at his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the figure, Power Ring, John Stewart. Power Ring from the Crime Syndicate. On the back side, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Now let's look at this piece of Starro the Conqueror. These are the bottom 2 tentacles. Sculpting is amazing on this guy. It's intricate, it's all over. Got a couple little pegs to attach to the rest of Starro. And on the back side, you can see some of the teeth, part of his mouth, and these little suction cups all over. And the sculpting is amazing inside of those. Could use a little bit of a better paint job, but I'm really impressed and pleased with what I'm looking at here. If you buy all 4 of the figures in the Crime Syndicate wave, you get to collect and build Starro the Conqueror. It's a very unique DC villain. Often fights the Justice League. Kind of ridiculous, but that's part of his charm. And I look at the backside. He looks amazing. All the suction cups, the mouth, the different layers of teeth. Did I mention the sculpting detail? He's also really large. I believe him to be the tallest McFarlane DC Multiverse figure yet. His articulation is almost non-existent, and that's a little bit disappointing. But really, all you need to do with this guy is have him just sort of walking back and forth, and then mind controlling everybody he's about to conquer. Here's John Stewart next to Starro. He's almost twice as tall as a typical McFarlane figure. Now let's look at the little Starro Parasite. It's pretty much a miniature version of Starro. It has the same 3 eyes, the same tentacles, the same mouth, suction cups, and sculpted in detail. Made of sort of a rubbery material, so you can stretch out the tentacles, wrap them around the figure's torso, and then take them over and mind control them. If you buy the entire wave, each of these 4 Crime Syndicate figures comes with one of Starro's parasites, so you can have 4 different DC characters under Starro's control at any given time. I wish I had more of these guys. Here's this McFarlane parasite on the left, next to an older Mattel Batman Brave the Bold parasite on the right. Similar type concept. Starro on the front, tentacles to wrap around the figure, even those suction cup details on the bottom. Here's John Stewart with a Starro parasite attached. And here are all 4 of these Crime Syndicate figures, each one under the control of Starro. Here are a bunch of other Green Lantern constructs that came with the various Green Lantern figures in the McFarlane DC Multiverse line. John Stewart should have come with something for himself, but there are a lot of options to sort of fill in for him. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing at about 7.25 inches tall, which can translate to about 18.5 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, can rotate from side to side, can look up about that far, down, pretty good range of motion there. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out more than 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. He does have that butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest area, increasing the range of motion and covering up that large gap. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows that go all the way in. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. Ball joint his torso, rotate around, forward and back. Another one his waist, rotate around, forward and back, giving him pretty good range of motion in his torso area. Get a little bit more of his waist than his torso. Legs completely does the splits. Not a ball joint, but a similar type idea. Rotation is minimal. His legs completely go forward. Back, not much. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankles here. Forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock. And he has toe articulation. I will say the ankles are done on the old school ball joints, not the new seamless style. You can tell this figure was designed quite a while ago. Here's John Stewart, hovering in the skies. It's dark behind him, and blackest night. And take a step back. Here he is, floating in the city skies. Skyscrapers behind him. Now let's check him out, next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other John Stewart figures. Here's this evil version of John Stewart, next to the standard version of John Stewart from the Rebirth comics. I can see these guys pitting against each other. Then, next to the animated Justice League Unlimited version of John Stewart. Here are all the versions of John Stewart that McFarlane has made so far, and I bet they're going to give us some more. And here he is, next to the NECA version of John Stewart. Then, next to the Mattel DC Multiverse version of John Stewart. I don't have the original DC Universe Classics version. And now, next to the McFarlane Superpowers version of John Stewart. Little mini-me here. Here are all of my different John Stewart figures, and there are a ton that I don't have. Now let's check them out, next to some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here are all 4 of these Crime Syndicate figures that make the Starro wave. Owlman, John Stewart, Power Ring, Ultraman, and Superwoman. I was surprised they didn't do Johnny Quick, the evil version of the Flash, but if you actually read the comic these are based off of, John Stewart is a much bigger character than Johnny Quick. Add in Starro the Conqueror, and this is the entire wave. These 5 figures, Target exclusives. I expect eventually they're going to give us a 5-pack. It allows some of the people that couldn't give him a target to get it all in one fell swoop. And even though they didn't give us any more Crime Syndicate figures, you can use this Page Puncher Flash as a substitute for Johnny Quick. There are some similarities. And then we have this Firestorm or Deathstorm for the Blackest Night wave. He works for an okay fill-in for Deathstorm, the Crime Syndicate's version of Firestorm. Just ignore the Black Knight logo on him, Black Lantern stuff. Now let's check him out. Next to some other McFarlane Green Lantern figures. Here are all 4 of the John Stewart figures McFarlane has made. Then, next to both versions of McFarlane's Hal Jordan. One is a Rebirth version, and one is when Parallax took over. And then, next to both versions of the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern. And here he is, next to Dawnbreaker, a Batman Green Lantern hybrid from Dark Knight's Metal. Here are all the Green Lantern figures McFarlane has made so far. We've got quite the variety. I hope they give us Guy Gardner next, Alan Scott, Jessica Cruz, Simon Baz, Kilowog, and a ton of others. Here's this John Stewart Power Ring figure, next to McFarlane's Black Lantern offerings. A couple versions of Batman, Deathstorm, and Superman. Then, with McFarlane's Red Lantern offerings, Atrocitus and Batrocitus. And even though they're not McFarlane figures, here he is, next to my Yellow Lantern figures. They're not your traditional Yellow Lanterns, Sinestro, etc. We have Scarecrow and Batman, and then a couple of Predators. Now let's check him out. Next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to most recent gaming wave. We have the Arkham City Sick Joker and the Arkham Knight Scarecrow and Red Hood. And here he is, next to McFarlane's Mortal Kombat 11 DC offerings, the Batman Who Laughs and Joker. Then, with both the Amazon exclusive Tim Drake Robin and the Amazon exclusive Batman Family 5-pack. And now, with the 2 most recent Mega figures, Mongol and Frankenstein. Here's Power Ring, next to the Speed Metal Wave, Collective Build The Darkest Night. And here he is, next to the Batman Arkham City Wave, Collective Build an undersized Solomon Grundy. Then, with the 3rd wave of Page Punchers, this is a Flash-themed wave. We've got Flash, Atom, Gorilla Grodd, Captain Cold, and Heatwave. And now, with the Page Puncher Injustice 2 wave, Batman and Green Arrow. Here's the Emerald Knight, next to the 1st wave of Page Punchers. This is a Black Adam themed wave, Batman, Superman, Constantine, and Black Adam. And here he is, next to some recent Target exclusive Gold Label figures, Defiance Deathstroke, Kyle Rayner from Changing of the Guard, the Black Adam movie, Black Adam with Throne, and the Wonder Woman from Justice League Endless Winter. Then, with a couple more Target exclusive Gold Label figures, Ocean Master, and the 30th anniversary of Batman from Batman the Animated Series. And now, next to the McFarlane Toy Store exclusive Hush Superman and Rebirth Kid Flash. And finally, next to some Walmart exclusive Gold Label figures, Speed Metal Dark Flash, Rebirth Shazam, Parallax Hal Jordan, and Azrael in Batman armor. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more McFarlane Toys, these are from different various video game properties. And here he is, next to a half-eaten container of chicken salad. And now, next to some Jakks Pacific wrestling figures. And here he is, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here he is, standing with some NECA figures. Then, with some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, with some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, it's a nice figure, but he doesn't really blow me away. He just kind of feels a little bit basic. I'm happy to add him to the Crime Syndicate, that's for sure. and I really hope they give us a couple of one-offs down the road. Could be a really cool team to continue to build on and expand upon. His accessories, frankly, they're non-existent. His articulation is everything you would expect from a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure, although his wrists and ankles are the older ball joints. Sculpted paint job are excellent, no issues there. If I were to rate this guy, probably give him a 6.5 out of 10. I'm enjoying him, but I'm not really loving him. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say with the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.